The headlines. Release Tegina Islamiyya school pupils reunited with parents. Serap sues federal government, seek details of payment of 729 billion naira to poor Nigerians. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrests kingpin for ingesting 87 grams of cocaine at Abuja Airport. And on the foreign scene, dozens killed in Houthi attack on Yemen's largest base. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Updates. I am Martia Umar. For more news updates, follow us across all social media platforms. Now the news in detail. All the released pupils of the Salihu Tanko Islamiyya school, Tegina, in Rafi local government area of Niger State have been reunited with their parents. The head teacher of the school, Alhaji Al-Hassan Garba, disclosed this to newsmen on Sunday in Mina. Garba said he personally went and picked the pupils at a village called Gwaska in Gwari local government area of Kaduna State. He said that the management of the school was to meet with the community to work out the modalities for the reopening of the institution, which had been closed for 3 months now. He also added that the chairman of Rafi local government area, Alhaji Ismail Modibi, councillors and other stakeholders will soon deliberate on various forms of security measures to be adopted and if the school resumed normal academic activities. Garba said the abductors of the pupils, after collecting ransom, insisted that he must personally go there and pick the children. The police command in Niger has arrested 6 suspects over alleged criminal conspiracy and armed robbery in different parts of the state. The command's public relations officer DSP Wasiwa Biodun disclosed this in a statement issued in Mina on Sunday. Abiodun said on August 21st, police operative attached to Tudunwada Division while on patrol along Tunga and Chachagat Road arrested 4 suspects. He explained that the suspects were arrested at Farm Center area of Chachaga local government area when robbing a female victim with 2 knives in a tricycle. The PPRO said already the case is under investigation and the suspects will be arraigned in court as soon as investigation is concluded. In another development, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has intercepted a drug kingpin Ibe Ejike at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for ingesting 87 grams of cocaine. The NDLEA spokesperson, Mr. Femi Babafemi, said this in a statement made available to newsmen on Sunday in Abuja. The 41-year-old suspect, who was arrested on Wednesday, 25th August 2021 upon his arrival on board an Ethiopian airline flight 911 from Kigali via Addis Ababa, was taken in for secondary check, during which he tested positive to ingestion of illicit substance. In the same vein, a Lagos-based drug dealer, Ezio Korie, has been arrested following the interception of 4.15 kilograms of methamphetamine consignment going to London, the United Kingdom. Babafemi said the drug was intercepted at the Nigerian Aviation Handling Company export shed of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Ikeja, on August 13th. Tomato branded, sun-ripe and packaged for driver of a freight forwarding company to deliver at the airport export shed for onward movement to the UK was discovered. Zamfara State's Governor Bello Matoali has ordered the closure of weekly markets and all filling stations except those in the state's capital and the 14 local government headquarters as part of the new measures aimed at containing the growing activities of bandits in the state. He also directed that no filling station should sell petrol of more than 10,000 naira to a single customer. Matawali announced this after receiving 18 kidnapped students of the State's College of Agriculture and Animal Sciences, Bakura. The governor also banned the sale of petrol in jerrycans and by the roadside, popularly known as black market, as part of the measures to stop the supply of fuel to bandits. He also suspended the transportation of livestock to and from the state and banned the operation of commercial cyclists from 6 p.m. The governor, however, said the transportation of food within and outside the state must be verified to authenticate its destination, otherwise they will be seized and taken to an orphanage. No fewer than 31 inmates have been released from the Nigerian Correctional Center in Kano. This is disclosed by Dr. Umar Jibril Ogwandu, Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations, Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, in a statement made available to newsmen in Kano. According to the statement, the Presidential Committee on Correctional Centers Reform and Decongestion facilitated the release of the inmates during their visit to the Kano Correctional Center. It is reported that the committee was in Kano for an on-the-spot assessment of condition of correctional centers and inmates with a view to making payments of fines for inmates that were convicted of minor offences with option of fines but unable to pay the fines, as well as general review of peculiar cases. During the visit, 19 inmates were released through payment of fines by the Federal Ministry of Justice. 3 were released through payment of fines by Buniyadi Foundation, and 2 were released as well through payment made by Policy Vote Africa. In another development, the Controller General of Nigeria Immigration Service (NIS), Muhammad Babandede, says new measures have been put in place to check illegal movement of foreigners in the country. Babandede disclosed this to State House correspondents at the end of a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday in Abuja. The NIS boss said the meeting focused on agencies' activities to safeguard the nation's borders.
Mr. President has tasked us individually, especially agencies responsible for security like us, to see what we can do to make Nigeria safer, greater, and more attractive. As we are all aware, NIS is a security agency that is responsible for border, at the same time an agency that contributes to the ease of doing business. So today I have been able to brief Mr. President on what we are doing, and he has given me additional responsibility on what we can do to make this country safer and better. Nigerians should be more happier that the borders will be more safer now than before, and efforts will be done to make sure there are no counter-crossing across our borders. And all persons who are in our country, who are non-Nigerians, we must monitor to see what they are doing benefits this country. As you are aware, each person enters Nigeria with a condition, whether to do a business or to establish a business, but not to take the business of Nigerians. So Mr. President has tasked us to make sure we looked at this issue deeply, to make sure that Nigerian labor is protected, Nigerian economy is protected, not taken away by foreigners who just come to do business and take away the money, not to invest in. I'm glad to say that Mr. President has tasked us further. I may not be able to brief those tasks, but we'll do our best to keep Nigeria safer by effective border management and control, and after entry control, so that we can control those who enter our territory without doing something else which they have not agreed to do when they applied for visas.
And now to Lagos State. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, says it has commenced investigation to ascertain the cause of pipeline leaks in the Ikotun area of Lagos metropolis. The agency's Director General, Dr. Olufemi Osaintolu, made this known during an on-the-spot assessment of the leakage which occurred at Omoboriowo Street, Ikotun. He said that the Ministry of Environment, the Physical Planning Department, and the Alimosho Local Government Council would also be involved in the investigation and analysis. The pipeline leakage occurred on Friday. He assured the people of Lagos State to always remain cool and calm. You're still watching Trust TV News Updates. Coming up after the break, consumers to pay more as Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission approved service-based tariff. Do stay with us.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Nice to see you, son. You got a 10-year-old son, a 12-year-old son. He's a chill boy. Yeah. And how did he get to that stage? You allowed it to happen. You allowed it to fester. It's like a cancer.
It's a failure of the family, a failure of the society, and a failure of governance.
We are still going into some other hideouts to see if any apprehensions will be made tonight.
To operate within the context of the law with much respect to human rights.
You get them?
Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching Trust TV News Updates. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that no fewer than 31 inmates have been released from the Nigerian Correctional Center in Kano. This is disclosed by Dr. Umar Jibrilu Gwandu, Special Assistant on Media and Public Relations. And the police command in Niger has arrested 6 suspects over alleged criminal conspiracy and an armed robbery in different parts of the state. And moving on to more news, Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) has filed a lawsuit seeking the federal government's or the Federal High Court in Lagos to compel the federal government to disclose details of proposed payments of 729 billion naira to 24.3 million poor Nigerians, including the mechanisms and logistics for the payments, list of beneficiaries and how they have been selected, and whether the payments will be made in cash or through bank verification numbers or other means. SERAP is also seeking an order directing and compelling the federal government to explain the rationale for paying 5,000 naira to 24.3 million poor Nigerians for 6 months, which translates to 5% of the country's budget of 13.6 trillion naira for 2021. This comes after SERAP's Freedom of Information request to Sadia Umar Farouk, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, which states that disclosing the details of beneficiaries and selection criteria, as well as payment plan, will promote transparency and accountability and remove the risk of mismanagement and diversion of public funds. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has directed the electricity distribution companies DISCOs to commence the collection of service-based tariff (SBT). It was learned that 11 power distribution companies DISCOs have gotten approval to slightly increase the electricity tariff from September. The General Manager, Loss Reduction, Olumide Anthony Jerome, Eco Electricity Distribution Company, disclosed that the tariff will be increased by between 42 naira 44 kobo and 58 naira 94 kobo per kilowatt, depending on their classification. Already, the 11 DISCOs have started to inform their customers who have been calling for improved services and mass deployment of prepaid meters nationwide. House of Representative Committee on Finance have frowned against the 1.3 trillion naira revenue generation for Nigerian Customs and Excise by the Budget Office for 2022. The committee is holding interactive session with all revenue-generating agencies of government towards preparation for the 2022 appropriation bill.
As the country is preparing towards meeting the January to December circle for the 2022 budget, the House of Representatives Committee on Finance has begun the grading of revenue-generating agencies towards ensuring a robust budgeting for the country. The committee members raised eyebrows towards the target set for the customs and other revenue-generating agencies by the Budget Office. They say the customs has the capacity to generate enough revenue to support the 2022 budget.
He's a computer expert, so when computer gurus see things going wrong, they are concerned. And you can also solve the problem via technology. So, colleague, you can please avail customs the opportunity of models that can work for Nigeria and make better income.
It's valued already. So you will discover that you see the volume of money you are getting. If you want to get the real value, you will see that it's not real improvement. So I expect the proposal to be like from 2.5 upward, because the exchange rate last year was 381.
In his response, the Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, says the service has generated 1.2 trillion naira as of July and is prepared to meet the target of 2.3 before end of the year.
So under 2022, you see that 1.295 that were projected for the year 2022. I know there's argument for an increase, but it's not. It's out of this projection that we now did our calculation and came up with this message.
The committee says it is determined to block leakages in all revenue-generating agencies in order for them to generate more revenue for government and to discourage borrowing to fund the nation's budget going forward.
Stakeholders in the textile industry have lamented the activities of smugglers in the country, attributing the collapse of industry to the inability of local manufacturers to compete with smuggled textile. The stakeholders who spoke to Trust TV said the industry, being the second largest employer of labor in the 70s, is critical in government's drive towards job creation.
Now there are genuine imports, you see, because you need to differentiate them. There are smuggling, there are genuine imports. Smuggling now dominated, because even as you are importing to the right channel, you pay taxes. Government can even control the inflow through some levies, you know, tariff, everything. But smuggling is the order of the day. And you know, the most laughable aspect of it is that you have about 20 trailers who line up, and customs will say they didn't see these trailers. It's not funny. Go to Kano, where they offload second-hand clothes. You see trailers line up.
The government does not close, or we have the porous border, if I can say. This, the people in Nigeria, or our immediate suppliers of goods, or those who patronize our products, they are not very rich. They can't afford it because our products are more quality but higher price.
And now to health matters. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has recorded more deaths from COVID-19 complications as infections continue to surge in the country. The NCDC confirmed 650 new cases in 16 states of the Federation and the FCT, with 56 deaths across the country on Saturday via its verified website on Sunday, adding to the recent surge in infections driven by the spread of Delta variants in the country. It is reported that the 650 fresh cases reported on Saturday was an increase from the 618 cases posted the previous day in Nigeria. It added that the 56 additional COVID-19 related deaths reported also increased the country's fatality figure to 2,361. It did not indicate if majority of the known active cases were from the contagious Delta variant or other variants of concern, as stated by the World Health Organization, WHO. According to the latest NCDC data, Lagos had the highest number of infections with 281 cases. Ondo followed with 95 cases, while Rivers had 100. Katsina State's government says it has received 21,040 doses of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccines for the second phase of vaccination exercise across the 34 local government areas of the state. Dr. Shamsuddin Yahya, Executive Secretary, Katsina State's Primary Healthcare Development Agency, stated this in an interview with the news agency of Nigerian NAN in Katsina. Yahya recalled that the state government in March received 107,504 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine for the first phase of the vaccination exercise. He said the state government on August 20th equally received 92,370 doses of Moderna vaccine allocated to the state by the federal government. According to him, the state government will on Monday commence administering the second phase of COVID-19 vaccination targeting 18 years and above using the Moderna vaccine. The Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, has thrown its weight behind the ongoing nationwide strike embarked upon by National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD. In a statement jointly signed by its president, Professor Innocent Uja, and Secretary General Dr. Phyllis Ekpe, the NMA said that the federal government would resolve all pending issues with NARD within 21 days in the interest of all concerned. The NMA released a statement on Sunday after the executive arm of the association held a National Executive Council meeting between August 22nd and August 28th in Benin. The association said that it would not allow any doctor to be victimized for participating in the strike instituted by NARD. It is reported that NARD commenced a nationwide strike on August 1 after the 3 months it gave the federal government to implement the terms of the MOU it signed with the association in April had elapsed. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi says the ruling All Progressive Congress will continue to provide infrastructure to make the economy more productive. In an interview with Trust TV, the minister also said, contrary to the belief by uncertain quarters that APC will not survive after 2023 election, the party will not disintegrate in the near future.
We're hired by the president to discharge some specific assignment. One of the specific assignments that were given to me by the president is the construction of railways. So we quickly commenced that. And if the president was one who listens to those pressures without conviction, then we would have abandoned the railway, what we refer to as railway revolution today. The reason why there is that railway revolution is because the president did not listen to anybody who tried to deter us, because the argument was why money. And I can tell you the president's response. If people who had the money when they were head of state, if they did these railways, we would not be here constructing railways today. We are constructing railways because they didn't do it. So, do I believe it's a revolution or not? I don't know. But I'm discharging my responsibility. And one of such responsibilities is to deliver on railway. And we've delivered partially Kaduna Abuja. And I say partially because the other 80% was done by Goodluck Jonathan. We've delivered Lagos Ibadan fully.
President Muhammadu Buhari has commiserated with family, friends and associates of legendary musician and multi-talented artist Victor Waifo, who passed on Saturday. President Buhari, in a statement issued by his spokesman, Femi Adesina, said the deceased left a legacy of successes in many areas of life, including academia and administration. The president joined the Nigerian music industry and performing artists home and abroad in mourning the former First Commissioner for Arts, Culture and Tourism, Edo State. President Buhari said the renowned musician, with global appeal and recognitions, lived for many firsts, including invitation to the State House by 4 presidents and head of states, and winner of Gold Disc in Africa for his song Joromi, released in 1965 at the age of 24. And on the international scene, at least 30 soldiers are killed and 60 wounded in Houthi attack on a military base belonging to forces of the Saudi-led coalition, a spokesman for Yemen's Southern Forces said. Sunday's attack on the Al-Anad military base in the government-held southern province of Lahij was carried out using armed drones and ballistic missiles, said Muhammad Al-Nakib, the spokesman. A ballistic missile landed in the base's training area where dozens of soldiers were doing morning exercises, officials said. Al-Nakib said that the death toll may rise as rescuers are still scouring the scene. Medics described a chaotic situation at the base following the explosions, with soldiers carrying their wounded colleagues to safety fearing another attack. Residents nearby said several loud blasts were heard in the area. Other residents from the disputed central city of Taiz said that they heard ballistic missiles fired from launchers positioned in the Houthi-held eastern suburb of the city. And now to sports. Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe and Neymar are named in Paris Saint-Germain squad for their clash with Reims on Sunday. Messi is set to make his first appearance since joining the club on a free transfer, while Mbappe has returned despite mounting speculation over a potential move to Real Madrid, and Neymar is back after an extended summer holiday. PSG head coach Mauricio Pochettino confirmed that Messi, Mbappe and Neymar will be in his plans for the Reims fixture in his latest press conference, but said the final decision of whether they will all start the game won't be made until the last minute. And that wraps it up for Trust TV News Update. For more news, please follow us across all social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thanks for staying with us.